You know why most people are not moving forward in life? It is not because they are lazy. It is because they are exhausted from running in circles. We live in a world where your phone can steal your attention faster than a magician steals your watch, where a quick eye will just check for a minute, somehow becomes 2 hours, and where you end each day feeling busy but no closer to your dreams. The truth is, you do not have a motivation problem. You have a focus problem. And today, I am going to show you how to fix it, starting with the number one change that can push you forward faster than you ever thought possible. Let us be honest, distractions are not just little interruptions anymore. They are full-on lifestyle habits. You wake up with your phone in your hand, and before you even brush your teeth, you already know what a stranger in another country had for breakfast. The latest celebrity drama, and 10 reasons why a cat video is trending. And by the time you start your day, your mind has been pulled in so many directions, it feels like a sock in a washing machine. Here is the uncomfortable truth. If you are serious about moving forward, you cannot keep feeding your distractions and starving your dreams. Distractions are like weeds in a garden. They will keep growing until they choke out what you are trying to grow. Now, I am not here to tell you to throw your phone in the ocean, cancel Netflix forever, or start living in a cave eating berries. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But enjoyment and distraction are not the same thing. The problem is when distractions consume more of your time than the things that actually build your future. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I will work on my goals after just one episode, and suddenly it is midnight, and the only thing you have achieved is knowing how the show ends? One of my friends is a perfect example. He always said he had no time to work on his side hustle. He was convinced his schedule was too packed, too busy, too demanding. Then one day we checked his phone usage stats together, 21 hours a week on social media. That is 3 entire workdays. And this was the same man wondering why his dreams were not moving forward. The first step to cutting out distractions is awareness. You cannot fix what you do not see. Start by tracking where your time goes for 1 week. Honestly, you might be shocked. The truth is, the hours you cannot find for your goals are probably hiding under a pile of scrolling, binge watching, and random browsing. Once you see where the leaks are, you do not have to shut them off completely, but you can control them. Set boundaries. If you love watching YouTube or gaming, fine, but put it in your schedule after you have handled the tasks that push you forward. Reward yourself with distraction. Do not start your day with it. I like to call this flipping the order of importance. Most people give their best energy to low-value activities, then try to squeeze in important work with whatever crumbs of energy are left. It is like eating dessert before dinner and wondering why you are too full for the meal. And here is the part most people overlook. Distractions are not just digital. They can be people. Yes, I said it. Some people in your life are walking, talking notifications. They pop up with gossip, drama, and endless urgent problems that somehow always need you, but never benefit you. If you are always solving their emergencies, when will you build your own future? This is where you have to learn the art of the gentle no. Not every invitation, not every conversation, not every problem is yours to carry. When you cut the wrong people from your schedule, you make space for the right opportunities in your life. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what if I cut out distractions and life gets boring? Well, here's the magic. Boredom is where creativity grows. When your mind is not being constantly entertained, it starts to think. That is when ideas come. When you suddenly remember that dream you wanted to chase, or that skill you wanted to learn. Silence is not empty. It is full of possibility. Let me put it simply. If you want to move forward, you have to stop driving with the handbrake on. Distractions are that handbrake. You can press the gas all you want, but until you release it, you are just burning energy and going nowhere. Cutting distractions is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional. If what you are doing right now is not leading you closer to your goals, either stop it or shrink it. Protect your time like it is treasure, because it is. You can earn back money, but you will never earn back wasted time. The less noise you allow in, the more clearly you will hear the sound of your own ambition. And once you hear it, you will know exactly where to focus your energy next, which is what we are about to talk about. We have talked about cutting out the distractions, clearing away the clutter that eats your time and drains your focus. But here's the thing. Once you have cleared that space, you cannot just leave it empty. If you do not fill it with the right things, the wrong things will creep back in. So the next step is critical. You must focus on what truly moves you forward. The moment you remove distractions, you are left with time, energy, and mental space. But here's the danger. Free space does not automatically mean progress. If you are not careful, you can end up replacing your old distractions with new ones that feel productive, but actually keep you stuck. It is like cleaning out your fridge, feeling proud of the empty shelves, then filling it again with nothing but sugary snacks. Sure, it looks different, but it is still not going to fuel you properly. That is why this step is about focus. Not just any focus, but laser focus on the actions that actually push you forward. Let me put it this way. Imagine two people trying to climb a mountain. One takes small, steady steps toward the top. The other is running full speed in the wrong direction. No matter how much effort the second person puts in, they will never reach the peak. Effort alone does not create results. Direction does. And this is where many people get trapped. They confuse activity with progress. They fill their days with meetings, research, and getting ready tasks, but never get to the work that really moves the needle. So here's a simple way to cut through the noise. Ask yourself the 90-day question. If I did only this one thing every day for the next 90 days, would it significantly improve my life? If the answer is yes, that is a forward-moving action. If the answer is no, it is probably a disguised distraction. Here is a quick example. If your goal is to get healthier, reading fitness articles might feel productive, but actually doing the workouts is what moves you forward. If you want to start a business, perfecting your business cards feels nice, but making your first sale changes everything. This is where discipline meets clarity. You cannot just fill your days, you have to aim them. I once worked with someone who wanted to start a podcast. For over a year, they planned, researched, and bought equipment, but never recorded a single episode. Why? Because they were focusing on tasks that looked important, but were really just busy work. The day they committed to recording one episode per week, their podcast was live in less than a month. Focusing on what truly moves you forward often means saying no to good things, so you can say yes to great things. This is not easy. Sometimes those good things are opportunities, invitations, or side projects that sound exciting. But if they do not directly lead you to your main goal, they are detours, and detours delay dreams. Think of your time and energy like a beam of light. When it is scattered, it lights up a wide area, but does not change much. When it is concentrated, like a laser, it can cut through steel. The same energy, but with direction, becomes powerful. So here's the challenge. Choose 3 high-value actions that will move you forward faster than anything else. Protect them like gold. Schedule them before anything else in your day. Everything else comes after. Because once you learn to focus on what truly moves you forward, you stop wasting energy on side roads, and you start driving straight toward your destination. And that is where the magic happens, especially when all that focus is used to build something worth remembering. Because once you learn to focus on what truly moves you forward, you stop wasting energy on side roads, and you start driving straight toward your destination. But here's the thing. The destination is not just about getting somewhere fast. It is about making sure where you are going is worth the trip. And that brings us to the next step. You have to build something worth remembering. Let me ask you a question. If tomorrow was the last day you could work on anything, would you be proud of what you are building right now? For a lot of people, the answer is uncomfortable. They are busy, they are working hard, but deep down they know if they stop today, they would not have much to show for it besides a pile of completed to-do lists. That is why this step is not just about working. It is about working on something that matters. Something that will still have value a year from now, 5 years from now, maybe even after you are gone. Now, worth remembering does not have to mean changing the whole world or becoming famous. You do not have to invent the next iPhone or end up in history books. It can mean creating a life you are proud of. It could be building a family, a small business, a community project. It's an online platform, a skill, or even a personal transformation. The point is, it is something that matters to you and brings value to others. The problem is, a lot of people never build anything lasting because they get caught in a loop of short-term thinking. They chase whatever feels good today without asking how it will look tomorrow. It is like spending all your time decorating a tent when you could be building a house. Sure, the tent looks nice for a week, but the first big storm, and it is gone. I remember talking to a guy who had been in the same job for 10 years. He told me, "I am working so hard, but it feels like I am just going in circles." I asked him, "If you stopped today, what would you leave behind?" He went quiet. That was the moment he realized he had been renting his life to a paycheck, instead of investing it in a legacy. Building something worth remembering often requires patience. You cannot rush it. A skyscraper takes longer to build than a shed, but which one lasts longer? This is why focus from the last step matters so much here. You need to put your best energy into something that will still matter when the mood, the trend, or the hype is gone. And yes, there will be challenges. You will have days where nothing seems to move, where the results are invisible. That is when most people quit. But here is the truth. Those invisible days are often the foundation days. They are when you are laying down the bricks no one else sees, but that will hold up everything you build later. One of the best ways to start is to think about your future self. Imagine 5 years from now, you are looking back. What would make you say, "I am so glad I did that"? That answers your clue. Maybe it is writing that book, learning that skill, starting that business, or helping that cause. Whatever it is, start building now, even if it is one brick at a time. And here is something I have learned. When you build something worth remembering, it changes you in the process. You become more disciplined, more creative, and more resilient. You stop looking for quick wins and start thinking long-term. You become someone who is not just passing through life, but shaping it. The beautiful thing is, you do not have to wait for the perfect time to start. There is no perfect time. You build in the middle of the mess with what you have, where you are. That is how every great thing in history was made, not by waiting, but by starting. So if you are going to pour your time, energy, and effort into something, make sure it is something that will still matter long after the applause fades, after the paycheck is spent, and after the years have passed. Because that is how you create a life and a legacy worth remembering. And here is where things get interesting. Once you know what you are building, the biggest obstacle you will face is not lack of skill, it's not lack of resources, but that sneaky habit we all have: procrastination. And in the next step, I'm going to show you a simple, almost laughably small trick that can turn procrastination into unstoppable progress. And that is the 5-minute shift. Here is the truth. Most people do not fail because they cannot do the work. They fail because they never start. They wait to feel ready, to be in the mood, or for the perfect moment, which is just procrastination wearing a fancy suit. The 5-minute shift is the antidote. It is so simple that at first you might laugh, until you realize how life-changing it can be. Here is how it works. The moment you feel that resistance to doing something important, working on your business, writing that chapter, doing that workout, tell yourself, "I will just do it for 5 minutes. That is it. Just 5 minutes. No pressure. No big commitments." Why does this work? Because starting is the hardest part. The thought of doing a big, long task is overwhelming, but 5 minutes feels harmless. And once you start, your brain shifts gears. You move from thinking about it to doing it. Once you are doing it, you often keep going, sometimes for hours. I have used this trick more times than I can count. There were days I did not feel like writing, so I told myself just open the document and type for 5 minutes. 2 hours later, I was still typing. Those 5 minutes are like the ignition key in a car. They get the engine running. Here's a real-life example. A friend of mine wanted to get back into shape, but kept putting off workouts. I challenged him to just do 5 minutes of exercise a day. The first day, he did 5 minutes. The second day, 7 minutes. By the end of the month, he was doing full 30-minute sessions without forcing it. The momentum built naturally. The beauty of the 5-minute shift is it destroys the mental mountain in front of you. Instead of thinking I have to finish the whole thing, you think I will just get it started. And here's the secret. Progress is addictive. Once you get even a little, you want more. Now, does this mean 5 minutes is enough to reach your goals? No, but it is enough to start. And starting is the part most people never do. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling instead of working, or resting instead of moving, try it. Set a timer for 5 minutes and get going. No debates, no negotiations with yourself, just start, because here's what happens. Those tiny starts, repeated over and over, turn into big results. And when you combine that habit with cutting distractions, focusing on the right things, and building something that matters, you become unstoppable. But even with all that, life will still throw you curveballs. And in the next step, we will talk about how to turn those setbacks into something even more powerful. The very things most people let stop them, into the stepping stones that take you to your next breakthrough. You see, when you master starting, even in small doses, you unlock a whole new level of progress. But here's the reality. No matter how focused, disciplined, or consistent you are, life will still test you. Projects will fail, plans will collapse, and things will happen that knock you flat. And that is why the final step is so important, learning to turn setbacks into stepping stones for your next breakthrough. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Setbacks are not an if, they are a when. They are not a sign that you are on the wrong path. They are proof you are on a path at all. The only people who do not experience setbacks are the ones who are not trying anything. The problem is, most people treat setbacks like a wall. Hit it, feel the sting, and stop. But the most successful people in history see them differently. They see them as a bridge, something to cross over, something that connects where they are to where they want to be. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that will not work." That is not just optimism, that is a strategy. He treated every failure as data, each one bringing him closer to the answer. Or take J.K. Rowling, rejected by a dozen publishers before Harry Potter became one of the best-selling book series in history. Each rejection was painful, but she used it as fuel to keep going. Here's the shift you need to make. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" That one question changes the way you see every setback. I have had projects collapse right when I thought they were about to succeed. In the moment, it felt like the end. But looking back, I can see how those failures taught me skills, resilience, and perspective I never would have gained otherwise. In fact, some of my best opportunities came directly from doors that first slammed shut. The truth is, every setback contains a seed, a lesson, an insight, or a connection that can grow into your next breakthrough if you are willing to look for it. But you have to decide not to stay down. Here is a simple exercise for when things go wrong. Pause and breathe. Do not react immediately. That is when emotions make bad decisions. Write down the facts. What actually happened? No drama, just truth. Extract the lesson. What can you take from this that will make you stronger, smarter, or faster next time? Apply it quickly. Use what you learned in your very next move. Setbacks are like weights in the gym. At first they feel heavy and uncomfortable. But if you keep lifting them, you get stronger. And before long, the weight that once crushed you is the same weight you warm up with. So do not fear the setbacks. Welcome them as part of the process. Because when you turn them into stepping stones, nothing can stop you for long. And that brings us to the close, where everything we have talked about, from cutting distractions to turning failures into fuel, comes together into one powerful truth about moving forward. In the end, moving forward is not about luck, perfect timing, or waiting for the right mood. It is about making choices, cutting the noise, focusing on what truly matters, building something lasting, starting where you are, and turning every setback into fuel. The road will not always be smooth, but that is the point. Growth is forged in challenge, character is built in resistance, and breakthroughs are born from persistence. Today, you have a choice. Stand still or step forward. The first step may feel small, but it has the power to change everything. So stand up, start now, and push forward like your life depends on it, because in many ways it truly does.